So today I thought I'd record a quick video talking about the best approach to use no matter what symptom is really bothering you. Whether it's a headache, fatigue, muscle aches or pains, brain fog, whatever it is, put in the blank space, your symptom that you're struggling with, I would recommend trying this technique. It's how I practiced in order to recover. So I thought I would share that. As with all my videos, I'm just kind of talking from my personal experience of what helped me and what I've been working with some other people who are recovering. But if any of my videos don't really resonate with you, that's absolutely fine. There's no need to keep on watching or so I'm not prescribing this as a cure-all. It's from my perspective what helped me, but that's all I can say. So the best place to start is from a place of allowing. Realizing that my battles with the symptoms, my attempts to do whatever it took to fix the symptoms, to make them go away. Realizing that that was really aggravating the condition. That was really kind of adding fuel to the fire, stressing out my nervous system, ramping up everything, and kind of the feeling that I had to get rid of these symptoms before I could get better puts the body in kind of a stressful state that there is these kind of dangerous things in our experience that need to be gotten rid of. And then that putting the body in that state would then lead to worse symptoms, which would then lead to this kind of negative loop where the symptoms will get worse and then the reaction to the symptoms would be kind of worse, more stress, more fear, and so forth. So that, and it kind of had to, it kind of had to get worse before I could see that that cycle wasn't going to work. And meditation and various meditation teachers and books really helped me to kind of see how this was working, like realizing that whatever we're resisting in our experience kind of is going to stick around and get worse the more we push on it. So once we realize that that method doesn't work, then all that's left is to go in a complete 180. And instead, the best approach is coming from a place of allowing. I'm going to sit, I'm going to explore my experience, and the question I used to ask myself is, what am I resisting? What don't I want to be here? Kind of make it very obvious that, I'm kind of feeling bad because there's a really big headache building up, there's fatigue, there's my whole body's starting to kind of feel weak and tired and stressed out, and I can feel my body going into this hyper wired state, whatever it is. Just kind of orient towards what does it feel like we're resisting. And, what this can feel like is that thing in experience that you're trying to get rid of, that you wish wasn't there. It's like, okay, I'm going to sit and meditate now. And what am I really hoping will go away is meditation. Because often we can sit down to practice allowing. Okay, I know I need to sit and feel into the symptoms. But if we really are honest with ourselves and we look at all the agendas there, often there will be a reason that we're doing that is, okay, I'm going to sit and feel into my symptoms so that this symptom will go away. And that's fine. We don't need to judge ourselves about that. We just need to acknowledge it. Okay, there's some resistance there. I'm hoping to get rid of this symptom. Let's, for example, say it's a really bad headache. So you're sitting, you come to meditate or just kind of feel into the headache, and you notice that there's a part of you that really wants to get rid of the headache. Now we can often get stuck here where we're like, okay, no, that's bad. I need to allow the headache. But now there's this part of me that is fighting with the headache. So the really best place to start is we don't want to resist resistance either. Even the part of us that is fighting with experience, even the part of us that is trying to get rid of the symptom, even that part of us is welcome. So this is kind of a place that can be tricky, and a lot of people can get stuck here. And it's kind of normal to get stuck here. Like it's a little bit difficult to notice that we're resisting resistance. So the best thing, again, is to come back to allowance. So there's a part of me that is trying to get rid of the headache. What if I allow that? What if I don't even need to get rid of the part of me that's resisting? What if I just sit and allowance and compassion, those are real game changers in this practice. When we stop orienting from a place of I need to get rid of, I need to fix, I need to change, and go from I'm going to allow and I'm going to give it some compassion, it's a game changer. So what if I give myself some compassion that, yeah, there's a part of me that doesn't like this. That's understandable. That's completely understandable. But I don't need to identify with that part. I don't need to get lost in that story of, oh, I really want this headache to go away. Everything's going to be better if I can just get rid of that symptom. That's kind of when we're identifying as the resistance, that the resistance is there, and now we are kind of seeing from that perspective only, and we're not even seeing that it's resistance. So what you rather want to do is notice the resistance. Yeah, I don't like the headache. I don't like whatever symptom is bothering me. But that's just resistance. I don't have to completely identify with it. I can just notice that there's a part of me that's resisting. But there's a part of me that's noticing as well. So that's not the entirety of me. I can actually give that part of me some compassion. As if it's a little child that's struggling with something, or a pet or something. Just like, it's okay. It's okay that you're struggling with this headache. It's okay that you're struggling with this symptom. It's okay that you're struggling with the overall condition that you're struggling with. Like on a bigger picture, giving ourselves that little bit of, or a lot sometimes is what is necessary, but kind of opening up to, it's okay that you're struggling. Like, just acknowledge it. Acknowledge that there's resistance to this whole thing. And we don't need to identify it as it, but we don't need to get rid of it either. It's okay. I'm resisting. Okay. What if I just notice that? Give it some compassion. And often that's what's needed. It might not go away. It might stay there. But that's what's key is I'm with this allowance and compassion, we can kind of even say to this challenging experience, I'm giving you the space to be just as you are. So to the resistance, to the part of ourselves that's resisting, to the headache, that the thing that we're resisting, we can say, there's enough space in my experience for all of you to be here. I don't need to get rid of something. I can have space for the headache. I can have space for the part of me that doesn't want to have the headache. All of that I can allow, and I don't need to get rid of it. And just explore that. Sit with that. Say to yourself that you can stay here as long as you like. And then maybe that sounds scary at first. Oh, but I don't want this to be here as long as it like. I want it to go away at some point. Okay, there's some more, maybe there's now a little bit of fear in the mix. okay, there's this part of me that's afraid. If I say you can be here as long as you like, that brings up a little bit of fear. Oh, okay, that's just another thing. There's space for fear as well. Okay, fear, you can be here as long as you like. I have compassion for that aspect of my experience as well. And this isn't really intellectual at all. We can kind of use this method to help practice this allowing, but it can really just be a feeling thing. Like if how I'm breaking it down doesn't really resonate, you can just kind of open up experience and say, what if I'm not trying to get rid of anything right now? And then be alert for a part of us for resistance to come up. It's not like we're saying resistance shouldn't be here. We just want to be aware of resistance as resistance. So if we say whatever wants to be here can be here, and then there's a part of us that's like, no, but not this. Don't kind of try and push that behind and not see it. That's where we get stuck, is when we're like, I'm really allowing, and I'm pretending that there's not a part of me that doesn't want to feel this. I'm going to kind of ignore that. That's not really what we want to do. This is where authenticity is key. That what exactly am I feeling? I'm not trying to hide anything from myself. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm okay with something I'm not. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I'm just noticing exactly what's here. I'm going to allow exactly what's here. I'm going to give it some compassion. I'm going to maybe feel into it a little bit closer with curiosity. That's really key as well. So kind of this whole process I've been describing. And then, often the resistance will start to dissipate once we just let it be. Once we're like, resistance can resist, it will kind of resist, and you just notice it and you just remain aware of it, and it will kind of, maybe it will, maybe it won't, but at some point it will pass. It's not going to stay for years. And then we can get curious about the things that we're uncomfortable with in our experience. So what is the nature of this symptom that's bothering me? So, okay, am I allowing it to be here? I'm giving it compassion. It can be here. And what if I actually get as close to it as possible? But in like a gentle way, not like a really forcing way, like, how can I get closer to the symptom? More just like, this symptom is allowed here. It's here already, right? So like this headache, it's here and I can fight with it and then stress myself out more and lead to more symptoms, or it's already here. So this is the only approach that can really work. Okay, it's here and it can be here, and I'm going to accept that it's that I can't get rid of it, and I'm going to accept there's a part of me that wants to get rid of it. But what is actually so bothersome about the headache? Like, let's kind of get scientific or curious about this, as if we're doing an experiment here. There's no right or wrong answer. It's a curiosity thing of like, why is this headache so bothersome in direct experience? So not kind of look for the thought answers that might come up, like, oh, it's such a problem because it's painful. Obviously, things that are painful are bad, because if something's painful, then I need to react with resistance, because otherwise, how's my body? No. That's not the kind of area we're looking to go down with this. It's more like, what am I experiencing that is saying to me that I can't experience this, that this I can't feel into this? So to put that another way, we explore the exact direct experience of the headache, the sensations making up the headache, and we're like, where in these sensations is the exact thing that I can't bear to feel? Or if it's not a headache, whatever symptom, can I get closer and really just from like a curious, gentle, compassionate perspective, like the headache is here, I'm accepting it, and what is it actually made out of? Where is the exact feeling of discomfort? And just kind of open. And this helps us to kind of really feel what needs to be felt, and again, being open to whatever comes up. Like if this leads to some frustration of like, I can't do this, I don't know what I'm supposed to be feeling, then we go take a step back and just realize, okay, now I'm going to allow frustration. Like, there's nothing that is supposed to specifically happen. It's an exploration and an allowance. Keep coming back to allowance with compassion. So, okay, now there's frustration. What if I explore frustration? What is the sensations that make up frustration? Okay, maybe there's a narrative, oh, this is so stupid, blah, 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 blah. I can never do this. I hate this feeling. Okay, all of that. Just notice it. And then what exactly don't I like? What exactly is bothering me? And keep coming back to that. But keep doing it with a sense of compassion. Like, that's the most powerful step, is allowing. And then what if I kind of treat this symptom as if it's like a lost lover or something that I just want to express some compassion to? Like, it's okay. You can be who you are. That's kind of really what acceptance is it's okay. You can be exactly as you are without me needing to change you. So we can kind of just feel into that, or we can even kind of use that, use those words in our mind if it's helpful to say that the symptom that's bothering me, you can be exactly as you are. I don't need to change you. I accept you exactly as you are. And then there's no trick here that the mind wants to be like, oh, but wait, what about this? What about that? Whatever comes up, you can do the exact same thing for. That's the beautiful thing. And eventually there's clicks that you can just sit and explore your experience, because there's nothing. There can be really intense stuff that can come up. There can be really challenging stuff. Physically, there can be horrible symptoms. But what if I just accept it with compassion instead of trying to fight with it? It's like, and just notice even the thoughts that come up. The thoughts can be allowed as well. You can literally use this technique for whatever comes up in your experience. So, okay, there's this thought that's bothering me. Like, I shouldn't be having this thought. This is a bad thought. This needs to go away. Okay, there's the thought that we're labeling as a bad thought. And then there's resistance to the thought, saying this is a bad thought. And then we don't need to get rid of the resistance. Again, it's the same technique where, okay, a part of me doesn't like this thought. There's the thought. What if I just let it all kind of be there? So just kind of what you're just looking for is, where are you resisting? And what if you allow the resistance and then the object that you're resisting? But it's really key to realize that you can allow the resistance as well, because a lot of people that I've spoken to working through often get a little bit confused there, that it's okay if you sit and you're resisting. Just feel into that. Like, I remember when that clicked for me as well. It was like, okay, whatever I'm feeling, that's where I start with accepting. And then just be alert. Often we'll get caught up in something. And this can take practice. That's another key thing that I wanted to say, is that if we just keep coming back to this, if we keep, when we're struggling, like I would do this throughout the day. I was doing quite a bit of meditation at this point, so that was really helpful as well. I do recommend like a basic concentration meditation practice would help me to be more aware of what was going on in my internal experience. That was really beneficial for me. So I've got a video on that. But then throughout the day, symptoms would start building up. And at this point, I knew that the only reason that there were symptoms coming up, or the only reason that the symptoms coming up were feeling like a bad thing, because it was in the moment. I could feel like, oh shit, there's symptoms, I'm gonna have a crash. And then I was like, wait, what am I resisting? And then I would go sit, because sometimes while we're busy doing things, it's kind of, we can kind of have this orientation, but it can be, we can easily get caught up. So if I would go sit, kind of feel into the body, maybe just take a few deep breaths, relax a bit, and then explore what in my direct experience am I trying to get rid of? And what am I resisting? And then do the whole technique that I just lined out. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a guided way of working with any symptom, with any thought, with any emotion, with anything that's bothering you in your direct experience, to kind of take this approach is very powerful and helpful. It's like, it's not even like we're trying to heal something. It's like, what if I'm not trying to fix anything? I'm not trying to heal myself. I'm just allowing with compassion and acceptance. And then, I will recommend, kind of for me, a concentration meditation practice based on the book The Mind Illuminated was really helpful. I was doing other meditation as well. That did help to give me some, a lot more awareness of my thoughts and more concentration to do this. But I think you can build up concentration while you do this as well. It's kind of, if you just keep doing this, it's kind of for people to experiment with. But I do want to mention that because it was something else I was doing as well. And I hope that's helpful. And I would recommend that technique to anybody that's struggling with any part of this condition. And to always just remind you that just always have a little bit of compassion for yourself when you're struggling. Like, it's the same thing. Like, if you're really struggling, that's okay. Just allow the part of yourself that's struggling to be expressed. It's okay. You don't need to fix that part of yourself. You can just let it kind of be heard.